Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
I just have to say, do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel like the headphones are too big? The mic is too high? Like, why are nothing adult sized is appropriate for us?
It's because we're fun size.
Do you? I climb like my kitchen cabinets to reach things. Like, I'm 5'1". I feel like nothing is suited for me whatsoever. I can wear kids' shoes. Like, when you go to the market, do you climb the shelves to get something at the top?
Oh, I have to. And it's so funny you said that today. We were trying to fix our Nest to like fix the AC, and he's like, go into the breaker room, like, you know, like. And I'm like, he's like, go to 7 or 8. I'm like, it's so high, I can't reach it. I need to get like a little stool.
No, I feel like it's crazy to me that I can't get anything off the top shelf. I'm doing these crazy like leaps. And I have gotten to the point where I think it's so normal when I'm at the grocery store. Like, I will literally step on one of the lower shelves to get something from the top. And people might look at me weird. And I'm like, this is super normal.
And I don't want to ask for help. I feel like most people might be like, hey, can you go? I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to engage in conversation. So I'm just going to do it myself.
I hate even when I'm like on a plane traveling alone and a guy tries to take my bag down or put my bag up.
My bag is too heavy.
Really? For me, I'm like insulted. Like, you think I'm not strong enough to do it? I'm like, I'm good. And then I do it in the most graceful way possible because I'm like, literally like, or I'll make a joke like, this is why I work out. Like, if I'm carrying a case of water, some guy in my complex will see me and be like, oh, do you need help? I'm like, no. Like, don't you see me balancing it on my fucking pinky? Like, I don't need help. Like, I really get insulted. Like, I'm strong.
See, I feel like I agree with all those except on a plane because I overpack and it's so heavy. And my biggest fear is breaking a nail while I do it. Yeah. So I'm like, yes, please help me.
Okay, that's fair.
And I don't got to talk to them because we're getting off the plane.
Yeah. You know, like, your nail is very important in this scenario, but you know you could do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take it. But like, grocery shopping, helping me carry things to my no, thank you.
Yeah.
I got it.
No, for sure. I feel the same way.
Or when I go to a gas station, like, want me to pump your gas? I'm like, no, leave me alone.
No. Sorry. I hate pumping my gas.
Well, you're from Jersey. You're used to that.
Yeah.
You got to like tip these people that want to.
I say no to everyone because I'm like, weirdo. Like, please don't touch anything. But moving here from New Jersey where we pump our gas all our lives, like, I had quite literally no idea that like, of course I would travel out of state and notice, but I didn't know like I was the outlier that like literally every state does like pumps their own.
Oh yeah.
I find it so crazy. And I feel like it's dirty. Like, I hate touching it. I feel disgusting. Like, it's my least favorite thing about moving to Florida.
Oh, girl, they make it so easy. Well, I mean, yeah, you still got to touch like the nozzle thing, but you could tap to pay, and then I just put the thing on
if it
and
works,
let it go by itself.
Half the time, the tap to pay doesn't work.
Oh, the one by me works.
And I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, the one right next to me, like my gas station right next to my complex doesn't work. And I get so embarrassed too because I'm so used to when I pay for gas back home, like, I just sit in my car. It's luxury, honey. And I'm like, can I get 20 cash regular? Or you say like 20 cash super. Like, you asked for the type that you want. So out of habit, like my entire life I've been doing this. Every time I go to be like, instead of saying like, can I get 20 on 4? I'll be like, can I get 20 cash regular? Jesus. And I always forget. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I mean, I feel so stupid.
See, that's another thing. Like, I can't imagine if someone was pumping and I didn't. Oh, but you give them your card, right? Or do you have to pay cash?
No. That's why I say cash because I'll pay in cash or I'll say
it explains you Jersey
card.
People now.
What do you? Why? Oh, please! Brat. You grew up in New York.
I know, but I pump my own gas.
Honey, I can.
Like, I'm a car princess.
Imagine you're going somewhere, okay, and you're all like, okay, I need to get there, and you're like dressed up, and you're in your heels, and you're whatever, and you're in your car, and you're finally settled, and you pull up to the gas station. You have to get out and do it.
See, I like it because if I'm in a rush and this person's pumping my gas, and he goes to someone else, and then I'd be like, hello.
Sometimes I will be like, hello, or I'll stick the money or my card out the window and be like, listen, buddy, we got a go gadget here.
Do you ever get? I fear like not going to my usual gas station because I know what it's like. I know what the vibe's she's like. I see the same
Okay.
people. I feel like when I go to a new one, I'm like, oh my God, please no one talk to me. Please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like if I see too many people loitering around, I'm like, no, I'm going to another one.
I just hate gas stations in general. Now that I've been here, I have trauma and I hate doing it.
Yeah, Florida gave me trauma at gas stations.
Before, I used to like every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll find a cheaper one. So I'll just put 20 or 30 here. Now I'm like, just filling it up so I can just do it one time instead of like stop a million times. Like I can't. I hate it. Or I'll like just wait until my boyfriend is with me so I don't have to touch it.
Oh yeah, and then it's like you get out.
These are the things that are the little bougie little things that like for me, I need it.
That's fine. Not asking for a lot.
Can I ask you something? Do you think I'm a dramatic person or like a drama queen?
No, I've seen worse people.
I feel like this is another.
But things I find dramatic, you may not find dramatic, and vice versa.
Like, I feel like if I have a reaction to something, I'm pretty justified. And I've just been having this on my mind lately where I feel super, like, hyper aware of myself because my boyfriend has, like, had to check me a few times and be like, I'll call him and he'll pick up and he'll be like, hey babe, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. You know, and this is normal, like hello, welcome to being a girl. And it'll be something so stupid, it will be the dumbest thing of life, like, oh, I forgot this or whatever it is. And he's just like, oh my God, stop it. I thought you were going to say something happened to Cash, like our dog. You know important. What I mean? Or I'll be watching my phone and not paying like attention to my surroundings, like scrolling, watching videos, and like something crazy will happen in the video. Like somebody gets shot or like some crazy whatever TikTok. And I'll be like, and then he'll be like, what? And he like makes me so hyper aware of myself. And he's like, you are so dramatic. Like,
You're not that bad to me. But I feel like it's a woman thing because the other day I was in the car with my boyfriend and I just started crying. Like I was just so frustrated. Yeah. It was like nothing serious.
Oh my God.
Just bawling.
Please tag my man.
He looks over and he's like, it's not that serious. He's like, crying does nothing. And I'm like, that doesn't make it better.
What is it with men and us having emotions? Like having emotions is a beautiful thing. Like being in tune with your emotions is special.
And I cried even more because I'm like, that's not comforting.
Yes. And we're such empathetic people. You know what I mean? I feel like we put so much on our back. Like yesterday, we ordered DoorDash, right? And I was going to pick it up on my way to see him and it starts pouring rain. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, can we just deliver it because it's pouring and I have the dog in the car? Like I'm not going in and out in the rain with the dog and the takeout. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then with the takeout, it takes hours to get to us. Like it had stopped raining at this point. It was like so much drama. And it takes hours to get to us. And then we had to cancel the order and he just went to pick it up. And the driver was just a bad driver. But the whole thing, I'm internalizing like it's my fault because I asked if we could deliver it instead of sticking to the plan.
Oh, no. So that wouldn't bother me. I'd be like, well, it is what it is.
And I'm like ready to cry. I'm like, I'm sorry, I ruined the night because like we're about to watch a movie with our takeout. And he was like, it's fine. No one's mad at you. You didn't ruin anything.
We're just emotional. I mean, I like being emotional. I wouldn't change it.
Me too. Yeah. And I feel like we're so empathetic and we have just such like pure little hearts.
I know. Sometimes I'm like I care too much about hurting people's feelings, but with age, the less I care, the more I'm like, yeah, you're interrupting my peace. You're going to give me anxiety. I fuck you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Love that energy. I think that's what it is. Like you're diagnosing it. It's like, it's just worrying so much about everybody else. Like just relax. Like, does anybody else think about you that much? Like if he ended up sending something for delivery, am I ever going to look at him and be like, if you picked it up, this wouldn't happen? Like I would be like, baby, it's fine. Let's go pick it up together. Field trip. Like, you know what I mean? It's so silly.
Yeah. Even at work, like I'll be super stressed at work. And like, I'm just a stressful person. Like I'm just, if something's not going my way or like something, if someone's delaying anything I have going on with work, I'm just like, ugh. And I'll just like break down and like have a mental breakdown. My boss will be like, we don't save lives. We're not doctors. Yeah. She's like, it is what it is. And I'm just like, okay. So whenever I like lose my mind, I'm like, okay, like she says, we don't save lives. Yes. We don't save lives. Then I like talk myself off a ledge.
That is so true. I wish my industry was like that. It's not. But yeah.
You technically save lives. You're putting out news out there that everybody says.
So, news world's a little bit different, a little bit more intense, but that's okay. It is fulfilling though. I very much find purpose in my job, at least.
Empath girls.
Yes.
The heart.
Let's take a little pause to just do a reminder for our girlies that are local to Miami, or any of our girlies that want to just show up
Yes.
and support. We're hosting a book day event with the Miami Marlins. It's on September 5th, 5 p.m. There's going to be a book swap. We're going to be on stage. We're going to do like fun things with the audience. We're going to host a panel, do some chats. We're going to have authors come up. We're going to interview some authors. Also, what's really cool is we're going to have one of the, I think she has the biggest book club in the U.S. And she's going to come up on stage
Nationwide.
with us and chat. Like, how cool is that?
That is cool.
How are you doing that? Like, please teach us.
But meanwhile, when I started my South Florida one, I was like, 10 girls, perfect.
Yeah. No, we had a great group with our book club for sure. The one you started was awesome. And it was cool because it's like, it's a lot of fun to do. And it's just, especially if you're in the South Florida area, to like meet people like, that read like in the book community, but it'll just be fun regardless. And then it's like a pregame event to the Marlins game. So we're all going to be seated together. The tickets are so cheap. They're like $27, $35, depending on which one you select. If you come with a group of 10 or more, hit us up for a discount even further. And you're going to get tickets to the pregame event with us. You're going to get a Miami Marlins bookmark, and you're going to get a ticket to the game. And like I said, we'll all be in the same section. So we'll watch the game together.
And also, I don't want you to feel like you need to be like reading books all the time to come. Like you can just come if you've read a book here and there. Like you don't have to know the mainstream stuff. Even there's movies that turn into books that I'm sure you know of. So please come if you're new to the area and want to make friends. This is great to do that. Or even if you like baseball.
Yeah,
and you're like, I want to meet some girls.
Yeah,
talk about
exactly.
Books, baseball. Yeah.
That's how Amanda and I, and like we just two peas in a pod at this point, but like that's how we met too. Like we started, honestly, we had met and then we really didn't kick off our friendship till our book club. And it was so much beyond like books. It was everything. And here we are. Look at us. So we meet up.
You're my sister.
Yes, for sure. My family. So yes, come out. We would love to meet you guys. And for all our friends already letting us know that you're coming, we appreciate you more than you know. And we are so excited.
Can't wait. And also, we love to bring girls on that like to read. You can join us for an episode. So
yes,
definitely
could
be fun.
We're so excited to have some more girlies come and do some book
besties.
chats and banter with our booklets.
All right.
Have you been watching the Olympics?
Through Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's in France and I work for a French company. So my boss will be like, oh, have you watched? And I'm like, just like, the guy that came after work to go shoot at the Olympics, or like, Simone.
Whoever
Like I know the
be
popular people, the boxing. But
yeah, I cannot. I am so bad. I only watch women's gymnastics. Like if I'm intentionally putting it on, it's just when I happen to hear women's gymnastics.
I didn't even know all the stuff that they do. I didn't even know they had like a shooting thing. Like,
yeah. There are so many bizarre things. And this is the first year they've introduced breakdancing as an Olympic sport.
Oh, did you watch the little kids that they have? They have little like a mini series for like little babies.
No.
Oh yeah.
Stop.
It'll be like they're running, but like don't know what they're running in different directions.
Oh my God, that is so cute.
So cute.
Actually, Simone Biles, I think it's her little niece. She is wearing like little leotards that match Simone's outfit that day. So like every day that she changes, she's like a toddler and she's the cutest little sets that match Simone. Simone Biles has been just such a queen.
Yeah, even if you don't watch gymnastics, you know who she is. Like I've known who she is for years just because she's so talented.
She is literally the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Watching her, I'm just so in awe. And it's like, it's funny too, because when you watch the Olympics, I feel like if you see the tiniest little like wobble or this or that, whoever it is, you're like, oh, shoot. And it's like, I can't even like stand on one leg for that long. Like, you know what I mean? Could you imagine? But she's been absolutely breathtaking. And I just learned that she's a product of, she was in the foster care system. Like she's like the definition of self-made.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's not one of those people that you would think like, oh my gosh, my mom put me in this from a toddler. And like, you know how they like coach up these kids and they have the best of the best. Like she was in foster care for a few years.
Yeah, I think she found gymnastics like on a field trip or something. Like saw it and then she was
like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And she ended up luckily after a few years in foster care, unfortunately her parents were addicts when she was very young. Her grandparents ended up adopting her, and I think one of her other siblings, and then her aunt took the others. Like, it's just like a whole thing. And it's like she really just like surpassed all odds to become who she is.
And we see that more often. Jess from, your girl Jess is very similar.
Yes, Jess Vestal from Love is Blind, perfect match. Yeah, like rising above and being like these beyond like stars in their respective fields.
Love to see it.
And so humble.
Oh, sweethearts.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So Simone has obviously been just like racking up gold medals this Olympics, but today she had, well, as of this recording, it's Monday. She had a bit of a rougher, you can't even say day, but she got a silver medal today and didn't get a gold. And Brazil's Andrade, who has been just amazing in her sport as well, and getting just behind Simone in so many events, she took the gold. And what her and Jordan did, Simone's teammate, they bowed down to her on the podium and like let her have her flowers.
Yeah, Simone, I think, is
and they're like taking selfies with her, like celebrating her, cheering her on. I love that.
That's how it should be. I like seeing that in every sport, like boxing, UFC, which is mostly what I watch thanks to my boyfriend. But like I like when they applaud each other.
They like give each other props. Like, you just knocked me on my ass.
But good job.
Yeah, like dab it out, whatever, hug. Like, I love that.
Me too.
For sure. I agree with you there.
And I watched this one. It was these two UFC fighters. And you know how like before they do the weigh-in and all that stuff. So she like went to like, shake her hand. The girl kept like dubbing her, was like, no. And then she ended up beating her ass.
Yes.
And then it's like it shows you like she was so nice. She seemed a little more jokey, but when it came down to it, she
karma, honey.
Yep.
Karma. We have to talk about something very special that we did recently.
The movie?
Yes. I cannot believe it. We went to a pre-screening for It Ends With Us, which happens to be one of my favorite books by Colleen Hoover.
And we did a double date, our poor men.
Our poor men. They liked it, though. They liked it.
They did.
We saw It Ends With Us a little bit early, and it was, I mean, just the anticipation of going to see it was, I was so excited. I was like counting down the minutes because of how much of an effect this book had on me. And you always just want to feel like, oh my gosh, like, I was nervous too. Like, is the movie
going to disappoint? Yeah.
Do it justice?
And 9 times out of 10, I feel like it never does it justice, but this one did. Like, spoiler alert if you haven't read the book or you're going to watch the movie, but like every scene in the book, like when she's, telling the sister that, her brother's abusing her, cried like a baby.
Yes.
Like the ending, cried like everything was like to a T just how I cried in the book.
We were really sobbing, and I was so touched because I haven't read the book in a while. It's probably been like 2 years, I think, I want to say, since I read the book. And it just refreshed all the emotions I had when I was originally reading it. And I was so much deeper into this movie than I could have ever expected.
So good.
It evoked all the emotions for me of the book. So well done. And it's such a rare case of like, I feel like if you just saw this movie outright, you're still going to just love it.
And then if you pick up the book, like I feel like you just feel it so much differently.
Yes.
Like it'll be just
and
good.
Even the cast, I mean, there was a lot going on before, and we even were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it was, for me, it was more like, okay, Blake Lively is like this stunning beyond queen, and like, what are these outfits? Like, things looked a little off. It was just amazing. And even the younger Lily, she looked so much like Blake.
It was spot on.
I was like, oh my goodness. Like, she literally was child Blake. It was crazy how much they made her like look and even sound and act like.
Yeah, there's not one character I would have changed. Like, at first I was like, they couldn't have made Atlas a little, more.
Yeah.
But I feel like it went with the personality of the person, the personality of the book.
Yes.
So he grew on me.
Yes. And even with, I'm drawing a blank now, Ryle's character, who the actor who played Ryle.
Oh, I'm not good with names.
Baldoni, Justin Baldoni.
Oh, yes.
He was an executive producer, I believe, on the film. And I was like, oh my goodness, he just inserted himself in the cast because he was producing it. And I was very pleasantly surprised.
He killed it.
To be like, wow, he just played the fuck out of this role.
Ugh.
Like
Even their banter in the beginning, like so good.
From the minute it starts, the chemistry between them, all of it, the father's funeral, just.
I'm getting this on DVD. Is that what people do? I'm going to buy it.
It's not what people do.
Because I haven't bought a film in forever. Like, I mean, I don't even rent films or anything.
I think you like
I'm going to, whatever it is, I'm going to have it
do that.
so I can watch it. Yeah. Whatever that is.
So please get your girlies together or get your poor men to join you. Go see It Ends With Us in theaters.
Let us know your thoughts.
So very worth it. Yes. Let us know if you had different opinions, the same opinions. I can't wait for the second. I'm already so antsy. I wish it came out. Like, I wish I would have waited a little bit longer just so that they were back to back.
Ugh, I'm not patient. I would have wanted.
Yeah.
I would have been like, nope, I got to see it.
Oh, my goodness. But amazing job. Props to the cast, to Colleen, to everybody who worked on this film.
Okay, you told me that we may read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch the show. But then I caved in. And I was like, I'm going to start the show.
Okay.
And I absolutely did not like the show that I will not be reading the book.
Oh, wow.
The show, it's too teen boppy for me. It's not, like, it's not mature enough, I would say, for me. It's like high school-ish, you know, and I just couldn't keep up. And I'm like, damn, like, if the book is really good, I really hate that the show ruined it for me. So, yeah. Sorry, I watched it.
That's fine. It's okay. You saved us time. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I think, well, we're not going to get into our book just yet, but we are reading The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand because the Netflix show is coming out.
Yes.
And it looks really casted well.
Oh, yeah. So far, from what we've read, I think the cast
and
is
Nicole
spot on.
Kidman's going to be in it.
She's
like,
a great actress.
Very excited, but we'll get to that part later. But yeah, so I hope that one won't disappoint. And I also heard that Fourth Wing got this amazing showrunner, which we love Fourth Wing on this podcast. So they got a 2-time, I think, primetime Emmy winner, like has worked on some really big stuff.
Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that one as well.
Me too. Well, you're actually reading the book, right? I did audio for The Perfect Couple.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of both.
Oh,
I
so
did
you have the
I
audio
did a
as
little
well.
audio to like catch me up. Sometimes I have to be on time for the pod among everything else that we do. But yeah, I went back and forth between it. But I will say I enjoy a book 10 times more when I actually, and I process it so much better and I'm in my feels way more when I read it than when I listen to it on audio.
I could agree with that. I would say majority of the books that are my favorites are ones I've read. Except for Fourth Wing, because if they're really big, like A Court of Thorns, like that too, I need to listen because it's so big.
But that's also because we're doing it on a schedule for the podcast.
Yes. But I do think when I read the actual book, I feel differently than when I listen to it. Like I like it more.
I can't retain it the same way. I don't evoke the same emotions. I don't get as deeply connected to a book when I listen to the audiobook than when I read it. I'm just so much more invested when I'm like in the pages, in the thick of it reading. And I picture everything and there's no weird voices. But the one thing that you do that I cannot understand, and I give you major props, and I think a lot of people are like that, that you listen to an audiobook on like, what is your average speed of listening?
2 to 2.5.
See, that's crazy to me.
The average is 1, yeah.
I'm speechless. So you're listening by choice. Let's say if you're not rushing to finish,
then it's on 2. But if I'm rushing, it's 2.5.
How does your brain work?
Because
like,
I feel like I listen, so like I just hear it, and I'm like, okay.
You hear it so fast.
Yes,
It's like Fast and Furious.
But I feel like the one is too slow.
Okay, that's fine. 1.5. 1.5 is an amazing reading.
See, it's like
audible speed.
If you're going 90 on the highway, you might as well go to 100. It's the same thing. That's how I feel about.
I'm sorry.
About reading.
When I am in a pinch to finish a book for a book club or for our book pod, I will put it to like 1.7. And there's no going beyond that. One time I was in like the most serious pinch to finish a book for our pod. and I put it on 2 times speed, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. I didn't get to enjoy it whatsoever. Like like I fully enjoy a book, listening to a book at 1.5, 1.6. I can even do 1.65. 1.7, after that, you've lost me. And a lot of people do what you do at the 2 times speed.
See, I only do it for our book club because I'm on a pinch. I want to enjoy reading. I'd rather sit there, lay, and read a book.
Yeah.
But I have to, when I'm listening to, I can't do other things. I need to just focus on listening.
Right.
So it's not like I'm like working and listening or like, watching TV and listening. Obviously not that.
Yeah.
Scrolling and listening. Like, I can't do that.
Right.
Like I need
For
to be
sure.
like locked in.
Totally.
It'll be like I'm in bed staring at the ceiling.
When I listen to an audiobook, I'm cleaning or I'm doing my makeup and I'm enjoying the experience the way I listen to a podcast. I love listening to a podcast when I do my makeup or like clean. Like I love it. So I'll listen to an audiobook in the same way. But for me, it's just not at all enjoyable to be anywhere near 2 times speed. It's like, hello, my name is Amanda. And I'm like, and then you'll do that, and then you come here and you know everything, and I'm like, this is beyond my brain. Can't do it.
And it's funny because I feel like you probably read very well. Like you probably can read fast. And I'm a little delayed. I'm a little like I will read something and then I'm like, wait, what did I just read? I got to go back and read it.
But that's like the ADD part. Like that happens to me too.
Like it's bad.
It happens to me mostly with audio though, like where I'll zone out and then I'm like, whoop, gotta rewind. Like my mind starts to wander. I feel like when I'm in a page, yes, I've had times where I've had to reread a book. But when I'm like in the page, like and locked in, then I'm like so invested.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel like the only audio that I would ever recommend if someone wanted to enjoy an audio would be the Britney Spears book. That one was good because the voice was good. It felt very like in tune with how she would say it. But everything else, I would say only read it if you're in a pinch or like you can't read a book, but you want to get through a book or, But that's the only reason.
If you had to choose like an enjoyable experience reading
it would be reading.
Okay, yeah, same.
Yeah. But I don't mind audio, but I can get through an audio, but I feel like the more audios I read, the more I feel like I'm not actually reading a book. Remember in the beginning I used to be the opposite?
Well, you're not.
I used to be like it's the same, but now I feel differently.
Well, because it's a totally different activity. Listening and reading are 2 different skills and things that you're doing.
I don't know.
But now you see the light.
I just know with this book, I'm struggling with the listening.
Oh my gosh, because there's a lot of characters. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
So we are reading The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand. We read chapters 1 through 7 this week. I just want to say really quickly, shout out to my girl Cassidy for doing a little book swap or a hand me down to me of one of her books. I feel like there's nothing like more special than like giving a friend a book that you read or like, you know what I mean? Like that's so touching when it's like, oh my gosh, I thought of you. Here's a book. And it just, you appreciate it so much more. My cousin Joanna did the same thing. She had given me A Court of Thorns and Roses and the next one, A Court of Mist and Fury. And it's like reading a book from like someone who gave it to you, I feel like is so much more like, it's just like you're in your feels.
You're nicer than me. I was at Amber's house when she was moving out and I was helping her pack her. And I was like taking this book, taking this book, taking this.
No, but that's
just, like
nice.
Went in and took them all.
Yeah, but there's nothing bad. You're feeling the same thing.
Like, it's because I if I'm not when I say read the book, I mean Kindle. So it's not like I can be like, oh, let me lend you my Kindle or read the books that I've read on it, But if I had actual books, I think I'd pass them on.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. That's why you have to come to our book swap at the Marlins Bend on September 5th at 5 p.m.
Be there or be square.
Be there or be square. Okay, let's get into The Perfect Couple.
Okay.
I think with what you were saying with the audio, we are introduced to a lot of different timelines back and forth. And
I'm way too slow for
a lot
all
of
that.
characters and perspective switching.
Yes.
So it's hard.
Yes, and I've read plenty of books like that.
Yes.
But reading it is way easier than, or like even with the dates in this book, I'm like, okay, what were you?
Before or
I'm
after?
like, what year are we in now?
Yes.
So I'm like, I got to remind myself. So it's a lot.
But I think with context clues too, you figure it out. Like, oh, this is a past thing. Like that happened to me for a minute when we were at the zoo, and then I was like, oh, this is when they just met. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm liking it so far. I'm getting into it. I'm definitely like trying to connect dots.
It seems like a good murder mystery.
Yeah, and it's like what I heard when people were like pitching it because it's coming out as a series. They were like, it's like this luxury, like Nantucket Hamptons type of vibe, book, like Money Honey, but there's like murder mystery and it's lavish. And I'm like, yep,
You know what
it's
it
given all
reminds me
those
of?
feels.
Reminds me of White Lotus.
Okay.
You've watched White Lotus, right?
I've
Where
seen,
it's like the resort and like
yes.
these
But it's a
people that are
little
like
more
bougie.
dry humor-y type White
Oh,
Lotus.
yeah, which
you
I
know?
love. Yeah, yeah. But it's very, I feel like it's been done before.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm most curious to know who did it.
Right.
But I feel like it's not anything that I feel like, I don't think I would have picked this up on my own just because it's not anything like different.
I guess we'll see what happens. I feel like it's more of a summer read, though. I'm enjoying it.
A summer read?
Yeah, because it's
murder.
like they're away on, on Nantucket and it's just like, rich families and drama and like affairs and it's just
we could dissect some
the
of
usual.
It. Okay, so Benji and Celeste are getting married on this island.
Yes.
And Benji's family's loaded.
Yes.
And Celeste's middle class.
Yes.
Celeste's family comes and her best friend Merritt comes.
Cinderella.
Yes. And Merritt is found dead, who is her maid of honor. Yes. And then we find out there's a best man named Shooter, who Celeste kind of had a thing for.
And she don't trust her man that she's marrying.
Well, because, you can't trust a dad either, so it probably runs in the family. Yeah. Daddy Tag out there cheating with people, like, and his wife knows he's a ho-ho, but she's staying with him. Why does she stay with him? She's the one with the money. Why does she stay? He probably going to try and take her money. Okay.
What that prenup look like?
I know. What was she thinking?
I don't know. There's more.
And then there's Thomas, the older son, and then his wife, Abby, who's pregnant.
Yes.
And my theory.
Okay, go ahead. Lay it on us.
I think Abby is like the killer. Why am I talking like that? I think Abby's the killer because I think she is pregnant with Tag, her father-in-law's baby. Wow. I think they had a thing.
Father-in-law's wild.
So I think he's just sleeping with everyone that's.
I think what it is.
Jealous.
I think that's a great point because a lot of these, it's like the person you wouldn't guess, but they're also hiding in plain sight.
Yes.
So you have the moment where Abby walks in on Merritt and Tag in the kitchen when they're having a moment, and she like does have inappropriate thoughts about it and like holds it in. So she has that moment. Then when she's talking to the cops and like kind of dissecting the story, she gets a little bit protective of Tag at one point when they like directly were like, oh, is he somebody known to keep a lot of secrets? And she just like does a little damage control. The fact that they were like, she's pregnant, that
they make her seem innocent.
Layer, because it's not like we're like, gonna suspect her off the bat if she's with Thomas.
See, I'm thinking Merritt maybe walked in on, me guessing way in the future, Abby and Tag having a conversation like, this baby's actually yours. And then he's like, no, we got to make sure Thomas thinks it's his. Yeah. And then Merritt was like, what the fuck, you sleeping with her too? And she's like, and then they caused a whole scene.
Maybe she found something
and maybe
out.
They both killed her. Maybe he grabbed his little kayak, brought them, all three of them on, and then they drowned her ass.
There's something with the kayak that's going to come back for sure, because I think that the kayak is used in like how she died because she was found in the water. So she was definitely out there, whether she was taken out by somebody with good intent or so she thought or not. But I think like that's, she was on the kayak and then she wasn't.
Maybe it was Karen. Maybe Karen's like, I die, we all die.
That's really funny.
You mentioned that.
Jokingly said to me that Karen was what if it's Karen? And I'm like, what, is she going to take somebody with her? Like, how? It's not Karen.
She has 18 months to live.
Yeah. I mean, also like that whole family, I feel like they act a little bit above her and it's kind of like annoying.
Yeah. I don't think it's the mom though. If the mom don't give a shit that her husband's cheating. She don't care if he I don't think she cares to kill a mistress.
Yeah, totally. I'm trying to think like who. Well, then there's like the weird piece. I don't think it's him because it feels obvious about like Shooter disappearing and trying to get on a boat and taking his luggage.
What's up with that? The cops like questioning him. Then he's like, deuces.
Yes. So I think all the things about the rehearsal dinner being called off and them being suspicious about it is not about the murder. I think it has to do with like some sort of like affair or whatever, because Abby had seen, and she could be lying to the police to corroborate something, but she had seen Merritt and Celeste talking to each other, and the night before the murder, the night before the wedding, and it looked like Celeste was like upset and whatever. I think that the wedding was called off, the rehearsal was called off because there was something like some kind of affair element was brewing, whether she walked in on Benji or found something out, or she just was going to run away with Shooter. One of them.
You don't
is
think
the
their
cause.
little priest thing guy was running late, like they said?
Definitely don't. But I think the police are looking at this like, oh, does this like maybe trying to connect it to the murder? And I don't think so. Unless Celeste teamed up with Shooter to kill the maid of honor.
Didn't Abby also say that Tag and Celeste were both, not Celeste, Tag and
Abby,
Merritt
were
both not there during the rehearsal because they still had the dinner.
Yes.
So they were gone for a bit. And then some went out to a bar, and then Abby stayed home. Some people stayed home.
So we don't think it's Greer because it's too obvious to be the wife, but it could be Tag if it's one of them.
Maybe he got Merritt pregnant too, and he's like, I got Merritt pregnant, I got
Abby
pregnant.
pregnant in 2
Everyone's
seconds.
Pregnant.
But I don't think he got her pregnant, but I think maybe she's had leverage, something over his head was going to say
something. They've been seeing each other for a
something.
while. Remember when she brought her over to Summerland and they met, and then he took her out, and the first time they slept together?
That was the okay.
That was the first time they slept
together.
together.
Yeah.
There's so many things it could be, but I hope she really like makes this like shocking for me, because then I'll love it.
Yeah, me too. I want to be shocked. I will say that show Presumed Innocent, that's the kind of ending I want. When you think you know.
Oh, spoiler alert.
I'm going to cut it out. When you think you know, okay, and then you're at the very end and you get your answer and you're like, oh my gosh. And then they throw another plot twist at the end. I was like,
you know what annoyed me though? Like, I didn't like when she was having the conversation with her. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
But like, why would you feel the need to tell her that? Like, I feel like it was out of place. Like, what did you expect? Like, I don't know. It was a little out of pocket for me that like I would tell him way before I would tell his child. Like, it was just, like that whole ending, it seemed rushed for me.
Because you're saying
okay, so spoiler alert if you haven't watched the
spoiler alert if you haven't watched Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal on Apple.
So we find out the daughter was talking to the mistress lady.
Correct.
And then she ended up saying she was pregnant. So it's like, why would you, she's like, I don't want to be with the dad. I'm telling him to leave me alone, but I'm pregnant now. It's like, why?
She's probably in some way, well, she doesn't think that this girl's going to kill her. And
I'm sure she doesn't. I'm pregnant. Like,
correct.
I feel like that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
I feel like that girl should get away with that because you made her insane for a second.
Yeah.
She didn't want no sibling.
Yeah. No, that's really crazy. And that's about to fuck a lot
I
of
would have liked
shit
it
up.
better if she wasn't pregnant. I would have liked it better that she was just like, stop leaving my dad. Like,
Yeah. But now it's justified. And also, like, it's hard because she's sitting there being like, your daddy wants me. I don't want your daddy.
Yeah, and then it's like, and I got his baby. And then it's like,
I can't. Overall, I thought the ending was good because of how they revealed it and all of that. I love that they went back and closed the door and showed us the scene and not just who did it, but how it unfolded. But yeah, I agree. I think that saying that is extreme. It's going to rip apart the family. It should not come from you, the fucking mistress, at all. But, hopefully that's how the perfect couple ends.
Even that, like, I feel like if the fact that he thought his wife did it was crazy to me. It's like, you don't know me well enough. You think I would do that? You were trying to help me?
But it probably is because she's justified. She is like, and he found this stuff in her car.
Ho-hoing too.
He found this stuff. She wasn't ho-hoing.
She was
fantasizing far from ho-hoing.
On ho-hoing.
She was so beaten down by this man, and who continued to lie even when he was found out. Yeah. And he was like, oh, well, we only rekindled for a week. And then it's like, no, you never stopped. And you got her pregnant. And there's just so many things.
But I feel like, why do men assume women? Like, I feel like it's like you
eventually they were done. They were split up. Yes, go and kiss a guy and distract yourself and feel good about yourself.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, like, I just can't believe that, like, it kind of annoys me that you just assume, like, oh, my wife loved me so much she would kill a chick. No, she would have divorced your
don't
ass.
Flatter yourself, mother effer. It was your damn daughter. Look what you did to her. You damaged your family.
It.
You did that. Ugh.
You should have killed daddy. No.
That's a whole other book and movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent there.
So let's talk about next week. We're so excited to see a little bit more of what's going to happen. We are reading chapters 8 through 13 in The Perfect Couple.
I can't wait.
Do you want to plug our socials, honey?
Yes. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. And we also made a Facebook group. It's Book Please Podcast /Booklets. Thanks, guys.